All right, here we are. I think we're live and connected. Hello, everyone. Time for yet another Narwhals development live stream. Slight delay in getting started this time due to some difficulties in getting the 2FA code and finding out who owned the 2FA device for the Quant-Site YouTube. But we are, yeah, we're on this. So the plan today is to start by trying to ship a couple of PRs which fixed some bugs which have been reported. After that, I'll take a look at some incoming PRs as well as narwhals.sql. So one thing at a time. Yeah, so let's just configure some window captures. Okay, so here we are. We've got the browser showing. If I focus on that, let's make it a bit bigger. And then if I focus on the code, it should go here. All right, we've got this as well. Nice. And yeah, it looks like I'm being displayed there in the bottom left. Sounds all right. So I think we're good. So let's go to the browser. Let's first take a look at the PR where Cameron had a really good point. So this one's about allowing, ooh, nice. Got some incoming PRs. Oh, nice. Has Francesco taken this into schema? Ooh, nice. Ah, really happy that he's done this. I really wanted this feature. Then, so we need to merge this one by Hoxpro and also this one for none in from dict. So for this one, there was a comment from Cam, which seems valid. So let's try to address that first. Gonna go into fix from dict. So git checkout fix from dict. Oh, we've got some changes, so let's just commit them with work in progress. We'll come back to that later. But I'm, yeah, fairly happy with how this narwhals.sql is coming along. Hopefully, we'll have a bit of time to go over some of that in the stream today. Right, so we've got this one. Yeah, fix from dict. I think Cam's comment was that, yeah, so we've got a test for when the schema's too long, but maybe not for when it's too short. So let's adjust that. Maybe let's just say mismatch. Yeah, so now let's make it too short. And the same thing should happen. Let's just check that this passes. So from dict test, and then -k, which just selects tests which match a certain pattern. I have no idea why PyTest chose -k, but whatever. So this one's going to be schema mismatch. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, it passes. Nice one. Check for schema too short 2. And then I think we can absolutely ship it. Let's just check that the... Yeah, nice. Okay, so it's still switching focus as and when necessary. Perhaps I should show how that works here in OBS. There's this script I have, which is mostly GPT generated. My general advice with the GPT generated code is it's okay to do it if it's something you don't really care about getting good at. And I really could not care less about getting good at OBS. So yeah, there you go. This just detects which window is active and then switches to the right window. I may have shown my local OBS password as well, but I don't particularly care. Yeah, you may. If you hack into my OBS and switch which window is showing for me, then no big deal. It doesn't really do much anyway. Cool. So that's the idea. So let's now go back to the PR, and yeah, I'd like to think that this one should be good now. Yep, let's give Cam a thumbs up. Cool, thanks both. Then Francesco's PR is... Wow, is it even already passing? It's still a draft. Yeah, nice. So let's go then to Hoxbro's PR. There were some fairly minor things in this one that we need to address, and then we can ship this one as well. Here it is. Let's make this a bit bigger as well. Here we are, that's good. So yeah, there were just some very minor things I noticed here. So the idea is that if it's floating, so the idea here is to fix is finite, which looks like it might not actually have been completely correct to begin with. Oh no, wait, no, I think this is okay. So if it's null, then we preserve null. In general, for anything element-wise, we preserve null values. In fact, for anything length preserving, we usually preserve null values. I'm trying to think if there's any exceptions to that. Well, fill null, but apart from those kinds of expressions. Ciao Marco. Just saw Francesco here in the chat. Hi Francesco. Yeah, nice. Yeah, really hoping we can do a live shipment of your PR. Okay, so this seems fine to me. So it was just the test that I think needed fixing up. So yeah, it's made these non-nullable constructors. Nice. And then, yeah, let's go to this file. This shouldn't be skip, but this should be xfail, because this is something that presumably SQL Frame will fix at some point. We just don't know when. So let's go there to the skip Oh, well, first of all, I should check out to Hooks Bros PR. So I'm going to fetch from his remote and then check out to the branch and make sure that it's up to date. Then in here, there's a skip somewhere. So instead of skipping, what we're going to do is we're going to use the fixture request from PyTest. And we're going to say that if SQL frame is in the constructor, we're going to say request.apply marker pytest.mark.x fail. And for a reason, I'm going to link the issue that I opened with SQL frame earlier. Let's do that. Here it is. I wonder if there's any, yeah, no reaction yet. How's SQL frame doing? Is it, oh, just had a release last week. Nice. That's good to see. I'm also curious, like, I mean, download stats have their limitations, but I'm just curious to see whether people are using it. Yeah, it looks like it's got a, yeah, it looks like it's got a solid user base. Cool, well done. Where were we? Right, yeah, need to paste a link to that. So, is finite integer column, got too many things open. Let's go back to that. Is finite test integer column with null. So then we're going to skip polars. I think this is fine. DuckDB does not, yeah, so same reason there. We're going to do a xfail instead of a skip, so that when this is fixed in SQL frame, then we can remove it. Otherwise, if you have skip, then it'll just continue being skipped essentially forever. Which, yeah, isn't great. I'm okay with skipping in this case, though, because we're skipping for old versions of polars, and this is never just going to magically start working for old versions of polars. So, fine to just skip. Ah, nice. So here it shows us Simon Hoxbro Hansen. Because I saw the name on GitHub as Simon Hansen, I was wondering where Hoxbro comes from. Looks like it's either a middle name or a nickname. And it's not even Hoxbro, it's this cut O, which I don't know how to pronounce. Right. So the result, yeah, now this is where it gets really messy. So for nullable constructors, the result should be true, true, and none. Whereas for non-nullable ones, this last one becomes nan. So then is finite is going to be false. Sure. Well, one question I do have is what happens with pandas nightly? Let's see. I've got this local script called install pandas nightly, which, while I'm at it, let's rename to install pandas nightly. Install pandas nightly. The reason we need the nightly is that there's some changes in how null values are handled. Just when you thought null values and pandas could not get any more complicated, yeah, it's getting even more complicated. Nice, it actually passes. Well, this is pretty good. Nice. Okay, well in that case I'm happy with that. I thought we were gonna have to do something crazier. So here there's some test about Narwhals Polo's GPU, but I think it's okay. I could run the GPU tests, but also my patience with doing work for cuDF is waning. So I think we'll just leave this to them. Okay. Yeah, I think this is all I wanted to change. So, well, the last thing there's something that's bothering me. And that is what... Yeah, exactly. So what if here we just returned otherwise? And would the tests still pass? Okay, this is a bad sign. It means that our tests aren't particularly strong. If you can just change the code like this and your tests still pass, yeah, that's a bad sign. So let's... Yeah, we really want a float column with null. So maybe let's make this one column with null, and let's parameterize over data. So this is going to have 1 to none, and then the second time let's say 1.5, 2.5, and none. Actually, to keep the expected the same, let's keep the same values. And then in here, instead of this list, we're just going to pass in data, which is going to be a list of the float. All right, I think this should be everything. Now let's take a look. Now I'd like to see this fail for IBIS. So there's an XPath strict for SQL frame. Oh, right, yeah. If SQL frame in constructor and is instance data 0 int. Ooh. Well, this is a bit... This is confusing me. Like, we've changed the code here. Well, it could be that these two already just preserve null values. So, oh yeah, so in IBIS, it looks like isinf preserves null values. That's good. As does isnan. Nice. Okay. Well, we're lucky. I don't think we had an explicit test which hit this, but it did just happen to pass. That is encouraging. That's kind of what we want to see. But in that case, we might as well do an early return. And then here have like lit true. Yeah, I think we're good. Nice. So, summary of changes. What have I modified? So, PyTest X fail instead of skip. That's one thing. Then we test for floats with nulls, and then early return in IBIS. Yeah, so here we can just return this return. And then I think if I just do git push, it should just go straight to his branch. Nice. Okay. Cool. Right. Slightly surprised that I need to approve the workflows to run even when I've added a commit. But sure, let's do this now. I used to have a script that would automatically give people GIFs, but it looks like since there's this new stuff going on here on GitHub, it no longer runs. So I guess that means, yeah, remind me later. I'm open to contributing to this person, but just remind me later. Let's give them a random GIF. I think this, well, I honestly can't remember which one is which, but it's their first PR. Let's put the effort into manually giving them a nice GIF. Great patch. And let's just double check what they're going to see. Yeah, I like this one. Yeah, let's see if it goes green while it's running. Here, oh. Would it be worth instead to just assert that the result has B in it? That's a valid point. Let's say that's a good question. I'd say let's cross it when we need to. Cool. Yeah, let's check this. Let's see if Francesco's PR is ready, because if we're gonna make a patch release, I'd really like to have that, to be honest. Oh. Why all these conflicts? Surely not just... Yeah, I'm confused. Surely not from the PR I just merged. Can't have caused that much, can it? Nice, this is really good. So on the compliant level, you just receive schema. Oh yeah, this is going to need updating based on the PR I just merged. Sorry, Francesco. Hey, thank you for the gift, Simon. Simon says in the chat. Sure, yeah. I need to figure out how to get GitHub to give those automatically again. Yeah, we've got some unrelated... Got some unrelated failures, at least from what I remember. So on 3.14, and then with Marimo. I might try to reproduce this one locally. Last time I tried, I wasn't able to. And then here on 3.14, what do we have? Top K. Ooh. Well, this is kind of interesting. This might be worth investigating. Do they have a report for this? GitHub DuckDB. Let's take a look. Top K. How do we implement Top K? I don't remember. Oh, we've got here qualify. Lit k. Int cannot be assigned. Yeah, this is just not true. Well, let's see if we can reproduce it. So let's deactivate the environment. Let's activate Python 3.14 then. Sorry. And then let's get some latest versions of PyArrow and DuckDB installed, and let's try to run this top K test. Structures equals DuckDB. Let's see what happens. Ooh, nice. It reproduces. Okay. Yeah, I think we can try to send this to DuckDB. Anyway, it's now time for a little break. Right, let's get back to work. Let's do this. Where were we? Yeah, let's get back to it right about here. So yeah, next thing I'd like to do is, while CI is probably still running, let's make a little reproducer. Let's submit a bug to DuckDB. And either the issue's on our side or it's on their side, but hopefully this means that it is actually solvable. So let's take a look. Query. Yeah, sure, doesn't look particularly illegal. And our rel. Okay. Yeah, let's try to make a reproducer. So first I'll just do it in Python. And then we're gonna go over to just submitting it. Well, I guess this should be submitted to DuckDB Python. If it's only in Python 3.14 that it happens, right? Well, let's see. So rel is going to be SQL, select star from, actually we can probably just make it a single SQL query. So from values, let's see if we can make this a bit shorter. So A to K, F to and B, df A, B, S, F, C, select, and now this is where we put the query. Select. So from there, select star, and then we qualify row number over order by B, ask nulls last, SFC, ask nulls last, is less than or equal to 4. Yeah, let's see if this runs. Yeah, this runs fine. What if we collect? Like, let's collect into Polus, for example. Runs fine. Let's collect into Arrow. What's it called? To Arrow table. Nah, this is super confusing. The test. This is wild. So the test fails. Oh. It's just the last one that fails. Okay, let's just get to the last one then. This one fails immediately. Let's see if it fails immediately when we run this. Let's see. DuckDB run query. Yeah, this fails already. So the query should be the same. Print query row number over. Let's just copy and paste this. F. Let's put these back. But now the relation is probably a bit different. So we've got A. F. Let's make 3 rows. I'd like to think that that's enough to reproduce the issue. And then here, how do you write? Do you just write null? Let's see. Null. Let's see what happens. Oh, and the column names are A and then B, C. yeah. Is this the issue? For now, let's just try calling it B. Let's see what happens. No, oh, from underscore rel. I see. Yeah, we can get rid of that. And now this runs. It runs absolutely fine. What was the issue then? Was there a schema that was a bit different? Varchar in 64, which is what I'd expect here. I think. Int 32 here. Okay, I doubt that that's the issue. Well, let's see. No, not. I can't remember the exact syntax for casting when you create it. But all I can really think of is to go a bit further with this table. Let's try to make all the rows. So we've got A, F, A, D, B, C. And then here we've got 2, 3, 6, 1. And the query is exactly that one, right? Select star from these values, qualify row number over order by B desc null slash is less than or equal to 4. Which here gives an unintelligible error. But if I just do it here, it runs fine. Which really makes me think whether this can be the issue. Like, are you... Well, first of all, are you not allowed to just quote names here? Yeah, you are. Okay. So next step would be, let's try to quote BC, and now it tells us that referenced column B cannot be found. So let's quote that as well. And it runs absolutely fine. What is going on? Maybe it is the D type then? Okay, well, sure. So with CTE as select star from so select star from these values, except I'm not going to select star. Let's select A and then cast BC as int 32 as BC. Is int 32, can it be that int 32 is the issue? And then from CTE, let's put the same query. So syntax, so yeah, okay, we've written from twice. Let's solve that out. And now it still runs. Simon in the chat, BC. Yeah, we intentionally had that as a name in the test, just to make it a bit more unusual and try to catch ourselves out if we weren't quoting column names correctly. Okay, this is starting to get bizarre. But one approach to debugging is to just think of it positively as, hey, I'm gonna learn something new. So let's try to be positive about it. Maybe something new will come out of this. Maybe, yeah, maybe we'll learn something useful from this. Let's see. Now first, let's print out this rel and let's check that it's the same as the one that we have there in the test. Let us take a look. So, oh wait, in the test we have int 64. Oh right, yeah, here DuckDB uses int 32 by default by the looks of it, so I'm explicitly going to put int 64. I wonder why they do int 32 by default. Yeah, now it's int 64. And now, let's just paste this temporarily. And now I think it matches what's there. Let's see. Underscore rel. This looks exactly the same to me. AF A DBC varchar A BC in 64 null null 2361. Yeah, it looks exactly the same. Okay, let's take a look at the query then. So we're doing select star from rel, qualify row number over order by BC, desk, nulls last, less than or equal to 4. The only difference I can see is the naming of the variable. And at this point, I don't know what to do, so I guess I'll try anything. Yeah, there you get this. What? This is the hardest thing to deal with. Just some error that you can't debug, you don't know where to start with. Oh, this is wild. What do we even do? Right, well, the next thing I can think of doing is to copy and paste the query. Just in case I'd made some mistake on that front. Now it passes. This is so bizarre. Okay. I'm gonna do something really radical now. I'm gonna read the error message. Failed to cast logical operator type, mismatch. This error signals an assertion failure within DuckDB. This usually occurs due to unexpected conditions or errors in the program's logic. If they give us a link. Okay, I guess let's take a look. Yeah, they encourage us to make a reproducible example, but here I can't even reproduce it. Okay. So we're running topk twice here. I wonder if that has something to do with it. And which one is it that fails? Is it the first one? Oh, we're also doing a sort at the end. Well, that's interesting, actually. Oh, right, because presumably because we're calling collect after this. Well, I'm out of ideas, so I guess let's add the sort. So order by A. Passes. Okay, so let's take a look at the DuckDB constructor and let's see if that makes any difference. So what we do is we start by making a pandas lazy frame and then we call DuckDB table. Okay, well, let's try that. So let's import pandas and then we'll say lf equals a lazy frame with this data. As PL. What else do we have here? Oh, duckdb.table. Well, equals duckdb.table lf. Let's remove this one. Now it... Nice, we've reproduced it. Okay, what if we just start from dataframe? Oh, it also fails. What about starting from PyArrow? Also from PyArrow? Really? Wow, okay. Well, let's see how much we can strip it down. Can we directly put a table here? Wait, what's wrong now? Syntax error at... Oh, table is probably like a reserved keyword. Yeah. Ooh. Ooh. Wow, looks like there's an issue within DuckDB table. What if we just do select star from T? Now it passes. Okay, so there's an issue with duckdb.table. Nice. Okay, so we've narrowed it down. Yeah. Pretty pleased with that. Yeah, okay, nice. Yeah, let's send this to them. So create a bug in the DuckDB issue tracker. So DuckDB Python. Oh, wait, what? What's even going on? Lol. 1.4.1 broke IBIS. Yeah, maybe report it to IBIS then. Anyway, let's report an issue. So internal error when using duckdb.table on pre-release. So to reproduce, let's paste the code here. Then what happens when I run the code below on Python 3.14 with duckdb, this one here. And PyArrow 22. I get Python traceback. Let's paste in what we get. If I just pipe this to clip.exe, well, no, it doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it's copied it for me. Okay, I'm gonna have to select this. I get this fun thing. Keep editing to reproduce that. So, how do we get this one? You name A, something like that. Does this? Oh yeah, x6 x nothing. x8664. Then duckdb package version. We pasted that above. Should be able to just get it back. Python version. Let's give the exact Python version. Python version 3.14.0. Identity disclosure, full name, Marco Edward Corelli, affiliation, QuantSite Labs. I've tested with a nightly build. Yes, it's a fully reproducible self-contained example. Did this? Yes. Yes. Okay. Right, all that for this one failure. Then there's this Marimo failure. We need to investigate this as well. I mean, I'm virtually certain this is not related to Simon's PR. In fact, I'd say let's just go ahead and ship it. Cool. So routine failure is tracked here. Altair one we're tracking already somewhere. Can't be bothered to get the link, but I know that we're tracking it. Nightlies. What's going on with nightlies? Nightlies is the same thing. Ooh, wait a sec. Nightlies happens on 3.12 as well. But let's... So 3.12 reproduces it as well. possibly others. Maybe the Python version isn't relevant then. Here we can just say when I write the code below, I get this, but I'll say here, but reproduced on, which Python version is this? Uh, 3.12.11 as well. Right. Oh wait, it's not to reproduce. Looks like I was supposed to format that myself as well. Right, time for another little break. Let's see if we can sort out the sound a bit better. All right, let's get back to this. Let's do it. Where are we? Yeah. Made a reproducible example, all good. Right. Yeah, I'd say let's ship this. Yeah, let's start by shipping this. So same issue for the nightly. Ooh, wait, it's no longer sharing. This is odd. So I've changed the focus, but it's no longer. Why is it? Why is OBS no longer just automatically going to share my browser when I've switched to it? Let's just restart the script. Oh, nice. Now it's gone back. Now, if I go back to VS Code, it goes back to VS Code. Nice. Okay, it's working again. So, same issue for the nightly. I'll tell we're tracking already. Marimo, I'll investigate. I've seen it sporadically, but it's definitely not related to this PR. Okay, let's get this in. Let's see if Francesco's one is good. Right, it's from an hour ago. I didn't realize these changes. Ooh, so sorry. Ooh, so sorry. Yeah, okay. Maybe we won't be able to merge this one on stream. But, well, that just means we'll ship it off stream. No big deal. I would like to sort out the 3.14 and nightly failure. So let's start with that. My bad, should have branched out of that. Francesco in the chat. Okay, so let's see. DB 3. Let's go back to the most reliable environment. Let's do. What am I doing? Main. So the plan is to fetch upstream, reset hard with upstream main. Then, yeah, get CI passing for 3.14. Now, ordinarily, I wouldn't think of it as bad practice to make a release in the early afternoon. But fortunately, I don't have any plans for the rest of the day. Keeping it relaxed. So if this release was to break the world, I'll be around to yank it if necessary. The worst thing would be if we released and then it broke tomorrow evening. There's something really fun going on. There's a local jazz band that's playing songs from the Mario Kart video game, and they're doing it live while people play Mario Kart. So like people live race each other while there's a live jazz band playing the tunes, and it sounds incredible. So I'd like to be able to enjoy that to the fullest without having to, you know, get too invested in it. So let's see. Let's go back to the nightly. Let's see if we can get this in. Let's see if Francesco's one is good. Ooh, so sorry. I'd like to be able to enjoy that to the fullest without having to deal with regressions caused by this last release, but I think it's innocuous enough that we won't have to worry about that. Where are we? Right. Let's go here to the constructors. Francesco says he needs to go. Have a good one. Ciao. Conf_test.py. So then here, instead of doing .table, we're just going to do SQL, then select star from df. Here, let's do no QA. What's the unused F401? Or is that just for imports? There's something we need to put. Ref, check, tests, conf test. Really? I thought it would complain. Oh, it's because it starts with an underscore, right? So then it doesn't complain. Okay. Yeah. Well, this is odd. We import a skip PyArrow, but then we import polars. Let's just use PyArrow then. What the? No overloads. What do we do in the other case? Predict string any. Yeah, let's just do the same here. No big deal. Okay, so now if we start running the tests for DuckDB, presumably these will pass. Oh, ouch. Oh, wait. Yeah, wait, why is this? Oh, am I just missing the from keyword? Rookie SQL mistake. Yeah, looks like it's going. Nice. Nice. Okay, and then if we install the pre-release, this was the pre-release. So what if we instead uninstall? Let's install the latest stable. Check that it still passes, and if it does, let's say let's ship it and make a release. Okay, obligatory XKCD comic about sword fighting. Yeah, anyway, looks like this is passing. So let's make a PR and get the CI slightly less red. What about the downstream? Alter. So here, do we have my pie somewhere? I'm honestly tired of seeing this fail. So I honestly don't know when this is going to get fixed. So let's just comment it out. So temporarily comment it out to get CI green. I mean, if it's just red, then people, myself included, will just ignore it. So that's enough of that. Where's the issue? Oh no, it's an issue, not a PR. Realign. So there's that, but then if I recall correctly, Dan had also written some things in the Discord about it. Okay, this is slightly frustrating. I'll just paste what Dan wrote here. So from Dan's message in Discord. Which likely doesn't render properly, but whatever. I'll also link to the message so we can get back to it if necessary. But how is it not like red for them? I'm confused. Are they not running CI? Are they not running MyPy in CI or something? Like, how is this green? Are they? Yeah, like here they've got this rough MyPy job. Install dependencies. Are they pinning the Narwhals version or something? Narwhals 1.46. Oh. Well, this is slightly concerning then. Yeah, we really need to make a PR to Altair to update this, to remove the pin on Narwhals. This is, yeah, fairly frustrating. It's, yeah, I mean, it looks like Dan has introduced this, but he has basically stepped away from Altair. Okay, one thing at a time. Let's get things here a little bit more green. So git log, so git commit, duckdb pre-release compat. Oh, this is also slightly annoying. So let's take a look at the typos. CLI. Yeah, this one here. Do they not have tags? Oh, they did have v1. V1. I think this warning is a false positive from pre-commit, but nonetheless, if they do have 1.39.0, let's use that. So, presumably now the error's gonna go away. Yeah, there's no warning now, at least, I think. Yeah, nice. Okay. Release compat. So this is really just a chore. It's not something user facing. It just affects how it's just like an internal testing function. So let's see if we can get CI green again. So let's apply the internal label. And yeah, I think the one I'm most curious about is the effect that this will have on what's it called? Marimo. Oh, is our CI so clogged up that most jobs aren't starting? It could well be that this is now invalid. Yeah, did I just make this invalid accidentally? That could well be the case. Downstream. And if you've got one invalid one, then does everything else just not go? I think there was some place where you could check this. So like check GitHub Actions YAML. Maybe not. Is it still, I don't know, is it still not starting? Oh no, it did start, okay. Never mind, false alarm. Let's take a look at Marimo then. Okay, so while this goes, first things first, I'm gonna go to Altair. It's been a while since I was here in the Altair repo. So let's check out to what are all these diffs? Oh, it's because I was trying out v2. Yeah. So let's fetch upstream. Let's check out hard to upstream main. And then is like Narwhals yeah, so we've got greater than 1.71, yeah. Where is my Py being run? One guess I have is that they're running this job with Python 3.9, which we may have dropped. So, wait, no, we still support 3.9. What am I saying? In any case, yeah, this is 3.12, so it's definitely not that. Install dependencies, UV sync. Is it from the UV lock? This is what I don't really understand about lock files. Like, why would you want to pin this so tightly? I don't get it. But yeah, whatever. I'm not here to revise their contributor workflow, but I am here to say I think they've got a minimum versions CI, and it would probably be good if that one actually ran the minimum Narwhals version. Oh, now Marimo passes. Okay, so the failure in Marimo seems to be totally sporadic. So my strategy is for now to ignore it, and if it persistently comes up, then maybe say something. So do they not have any like minimum versions build here? Minimum. Oh, here it is. If you update the minimum required JSON schema version, also update it in build.yaml. Okay, let's take a look at build.yaml. JSON schema. Oh, 3.0. Ah, that's interesting. So here the JSON schema version, the smallest is 3.0. So for build, they're parameterizing over the earliest one and the latest. Okay. Well, maybe what we could do is instead here we could have something like required dependencies, and we could have here like minimum and then latest. But yeah, in this like, oh, I think I get it. So the UV lock is the one that runs the I think, well, I'll just verify what I'm thinking might be happening. So here we've got, oh, right, sure. So when they run the tests, it's with the latest versions, but when they're doing type checking, it's locked to a specific version, which actually doesn't sound too bad. Well, we do something similar. Okay, where are we? It is technically time to take a break, but I kind of want to get CI running, so let's do that. So now, instead of JSON schema dash version, Let's replace that with required dependencies. Then, if required dependencies is different from latest, then we install JSON schema 3.0 Narwhals equals 1.27.1. Packaging doesn't have a minimum. Ginger 2 doesn't have it either. Typing extensions is 4.10.0. Well, I guess let's put this one in as well. And slightly scared to know the answer, but if we install the minimum Narwhals version, do the tests actually pass? Oh wait, maybe install lowest supported pandas version, yeah. Ooh, this, I've got a bad feeling about this. Got a bad feeling. Test with PyTest. Yeah, the issue with UV run is that, as far as I remember, it syncs your environment. So, well, let's see anyway. Let's install dev. Let's make sure we've still got the minimum Narwhals. Need PyTest dist. What? What if I just run PyTest? No, why? What am I missing? Which PyTest? Ooh. Nice, okay. Good, let's also just check again that we've got the right Narwhals. But it looks like it's still passing. This at least is encouraging. The thing is, I don't trust that UV didn't do like some strange thing. Ooh, oh no. Oh dear. Hope this isn't related to us. Oh, okay. So let's update Vega. Oh, but Vega Fusion introduces a minimal Narwhals. Does it? Does that have a minimum? Let's see. It's a Vega Fusion. Does that have a minimum Narwhals version? Vega Fusion Python, PyProject 1.42. I think we're gonna uninstall Vega Fusion, right? I think that's something that they do here. Something like, oh yeah, uninstall. That's, yeah, just uninstall optional dependencies. Make sure we've got these old Narwhals, and let's run the tests again. 20 errors. What's no module named VL convert? Oh well, they do install this one actually. That's the only one they do install. Okay. Well, let's try again. Now I'm going to turn off the xdist and let's just put a xfail. Well, it seems to be going anyway. Ah, thanks. Open up here. Let's do this. So, where are we? You're kidding me. Just when I thought there was no CI failures left, we got something on 3.11. Oh, it's this get categories, no big deal. Same here, yeah. Okay, let's say, yeah, we can make a release. Let's do this. Oh, nice. Alter all passes. Well, that's nice. Test minimum Narwhals. Okay. Let's make a PR to alter and make a Narwhals release. Good to do both. So show install versions. What is that? UV show, UV pip show, UV pip list. Yeah. So how do they? It's just docs. Yeah, they don't seem to be super strict about CI, about PR titles. So CI test with minimum Narwhals version. Let's open a PR there to alter. So and then here actually, let's add a to do here, like if so this this is kept in sync in both places. Keep in sync with versions in pyproject.toml. Yeah. Right. Let's open this draft to start. Now my prior expectation. Is that there's going to be an issue. Oh. Aha. Well, maybe typing extensions needs bumping then. So let's take a look at that. And let's just try running a single test. Just any test. PyTest n0x. Yeah, okay. Let's do a binary search then to get the minimum typing extensions version that's actually required. Well, it looks like 12 is fine. At least we're not seeing any errors so far. I'll trust that it's okay. Also, what about 11? While we're here, let's install PyTest randomly. So it runs the tests in random order, and this should give us some slightly faster feedback. Looks like it's going fine. Okay. Typing extensions. This should be 11. Yeah, okay. So we've done that. What else did we want to do? Yeah, we've got the UB pip list at the end. I think the title I noticed did look a bit strange now. JS. So bump minimum typing extensions. Yeah. People shouldn't be introducing required dependencies for typing. Like, even typing extensions, it has the potential to break things, as we see. So not a huge fan of that. The title also needs updating. Bump minimum typing extensions to 4.11. And let's add a bit of a description. So I noticed that although the latest Narwhals version is being tested, the minimum one isn't. I also added the minimum typing extensions version to the job and noticed that the test suite fails with it. Let's see if we've still got a tab open with the error message. Here it is. So I've bumped the typing extensions minimum and made sure that that gets tested too. Let's see if now this runs. Well, it is actually encouraging that this one failed because it suggests that UV. Oh, I think it's the next step that I think might cause issues. 13 with minimum dependencies. Ooh. Lol. This one still doesn't pass. What? Okay, well, it actually needs bumping further then. Let's try bumping to 12. This looks like a pretty wild thing to do though. Anyway, let's see. 3, yeah, let's see what happens here. The check has started already, that's nice. First string passes. Test with PyTest. Okay, well, it actually starts running. I think the description needs updating now. It's actually 4.12. Yeah, let's see what happens. In the meantime, let's go back to Narwhals then, and let's trigger a release. slightly breaking form here, but yeah, it's just a patch release, and I think it's fairly important. There's a few issues that we kind of need to address. So check out bump version, then let's fetch upstream. Let's reset hard with upstream main, and then utils bump version patch. Ooh, okay, this is gone. Oh, nice. The installed version does in fact have the minimum. That's encouraging. I thought UV run would be doing something unexpected, but no, well done. I think this can be ready for review. Looks like it's gonna pass. Okay, yeah, this would put my mind at ease, to be honest, knowing that the minimum Narwhals version still gets tested there. I'm slightly surprised and embarrassed that we didn't do this earlier. Maybe I need to do this in Plotly as well. So what else are we doing? Oh yeah, we need to make a release. So first of all, to make sure that the release notes don't get eaten, I'm gonna go here and yeah, make sure I've got these available. This is the only regrettably manual part about making a release. Then I'm gonna make this PR, which just bumps the version here. I'm going to apply the release label and let's let it go. Nice, this all passes now. This is nice and encouraging. And, well, I'd like to think that this confirms that we've been decent enough at doing backwards compatibility, right? Cool, yeah, I think that wraps it up for today. Thanks. Yeah, thanks people for coming along. And yeah, have a good one. Ciao.